Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Thank you for attending our Texas Homeowner Assistance training on behalf of the Texas Homeowner Assistance Subrecipient Activities team. My name is Felipe Flip Romero, and I'm the Senior Program Administrator for this fantastic program that's helping Texas homeowners. And we're excited to have you on board. I know that there's been a lot of anticipation in getting this training going and number one, activating these centers for the benefit of Texas homeowners across the state. So we're excited to have you on here. And I'd like to introduce our director, Ms. Lynette Jandral, who will kick us off this morning. Lynette?
Good morning. Thank you guys for attending this training. We are so excited about getting started, and we're looking forward to a successful program. So, all right. Let me get to the next
Get the
slide.
presentation going.
All right, here's the housekeeping. All the materials are going to be available on our website. We are going to have a dedicated Q&A session at the end of the training, although you can put your questions in the chat, and if we have the answers right away, we're going to go ahead and answer them there. So keep an eye on that. And training will be recorded and then posted, like I said, on our webpage, so you will have the ability to go back and refer to it whenever you need to. If you have any other questions, though, after this, you can go ahead and email us at our Texas HAF email address that will be available at the end of the slide. Okay, the program elements are intake centers, housing services, and legal services. The subrecipients can apply for 1, 2, or all 3 of these services. The intake centers will soon be listed at the Texas Homeowner Assistance website, allowing subrecipients and applicants to locate intake centers near them. Please note that all people assisted must meet the eligibility requirements, which will be discussed later in the training. So today's training, we're going to cover the onboarding process, and the full training will consist of 3 trainings that will follow. Today's program overview is going to discuss how the training is going to be administered. The follow-on trainings will then include housing contract system on the monthly reports, the financial draws. The next training will then be the portal training, and then we're going to finish with the fraud prevention. Okay, here's an overview. So we're going to start here with eligibility and assistance, the program elements and program goals. So at this time, I'm going to pass this presentation over to Michelle Stradley, who's going to begin this for us.
Like Michelle's having some technical difficulties, but I'll go ahead and discuss. I know that we've all gone over the program and what it entails and how important this is to help Texas homeowners. So I'll briefly glance over this. The eligibility requirements. Any homeowners that have fallen behind on 1 or more of their payments in their mortgage, property tax, property insurance, homeowner and condo association fees. We still have the household income at or below 100% area median income, AMI, or 100% of the median income for the United States, whichever is greater. So right now, currently our national AMI for fiscal year 2022 is 90,000 for a family of 4. And as you recall, you have to own and occupy they have to own and occupy their home in Texas as their primary residence. Also, they have had to experience a qualified financial hardship after January 21, 2020, such as lost income or increased expenses due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Once again, the total assistance that we have, you can pay out and qualify for is about $65,000 per household. And it's divided into mortgage assistance types, which is a reinstatement of a delinquent amount of up to $65,000. We also have the monthly payment assistance program, which is a reinstatement of the delinquent amount and 3 months forward payments up to $65,000. And on the property charge assistance side, we have a reinstatement of delinquent charges up to $25,000. You got to remember that you have to meet the basic program eligibility requirements and have a property charge delinquency below $25,000. Eligible charges are property taxes, HOA fees, and homeowners insurance, and any utilities fees. Of course, for any information, more detailed information on the program assistance requirements, we have this policy manual and FAQ page on the Texas Homeowner Assistance website. You can also email us, reach out to us, and we'll be happy to guide you through the process in terms of what an eligible homeowner can qualify for. With that said, I'll hand it back to you, Lynette.
Okay, great. So I'm going to go over the intake centers for you really quick. So the purpose of the intake centers is to assist homeowners in applying for the assistance. Subrecipients will pre-screen the applicants to determine eligibility, document demographic data, and verify identity and delinquency. Representatives will assist applicants with applications and submittal in the Texas HAF portal. Intake can take place in person through office interviews, off-site applications, through pop-up events, or telephonic and virtual application assistance. Now, the intake centers will prioritize services to those homeowners most at risk for foreclosure, those in rural communities, underserved populations, and those who are socially disadvantaged. Now, this element of the program is responsible for outreach efforts to educate homeowners about our program. Okay, so as previously stated, the intake center determines eligibility, documents, demographics, verifies identity and delinquency, and they will then ensure the applicants have all the required documentation, provide application assistance, which again can include paper applications that do need to be submitted through the portal. Paper applications are not our preferred method though. Again, intake centers can be office interviews, pop-up events, mobile events, or even telephonic virtual application assistance. So this tells you the program guidelines, everything that they need to do. So you're going to see here the program event must bring the whole account, must be current, no payments will be made to the homeowners. So you must own, reside in the home as proof as we do, require a utility bill, gas. So everything here is going to be located in our manual. So you're going to have the dashboard will show the availability of funds. So we're going to have everything that you need to know about the program guidelines in our handout. I'm sorry, in our homeowner guide that we're going to give to you at the end of this program. We're going to email it to everybody. Okay. We're also going to have it uploaded on our site. Okay. So, I'm sorry. Okay, so actually this was what I just spoke about a minute ago. The intake centers, they're determine eligible. Okay. Now you can go back to the, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Referrals. Applicants can get referred to housing counseling or legal services. Applicants' eligibility for housing counseling are those denied at any point in the application process or those who need additional assistance to achieve security and sustainability. Applicants will be referred to legal when they are at risk of foreclosure or currently in the process of foreclosure. Legal services will be used for mediation between lender and homeowner to provide credit correction and enable households to obtain clear titles to their properties. The first step in the referral process is asking the applicant if they want virtual or in-person assistance. Then find the nearest service provider, which will be available on our Texas HAF website, retrievable by both subrecipients and applicants. Now, we're currently in the process of creating this, but it's going to be ready soon, and we are going to notify everybody as soon as we have it up and ready. Ensure you tell applicants to bring their case ID, which can be found on the Texas HAF application portal, the name of the subrecipient organization that referred them, and the application materials and other necessary documentation. Okay, housing counseling. The purpose of our housing counseling services is to help homeowners improve their financial sustainability. All homeowners receiving financial services through this program are referred to housing counseling. There are also going to be homeowners who are not eligible for financial benefits, but they will still be referred to housing counseling to resolve their financial issues, to prevent delinquency or default. As you can see, housing counselors are required to be HUD certified, experienced in loss mitigation counseling, and have experience working with homeowners in the HAF program. Now, the next slide is going to outline all of the HUD curriculum, okay? All of this should look familiar to you. These are the qualified curriculum that is reported on the HUD form in 9902. These are all eligible for reimbursement under HAF. So you can review these for a second, but again, all of these should look really familiar to you, and they are reimbursable under this program. Right, legal services. The last service in the program are legal services. This service includes counseling to assist with foreclosure, tax liens, and other legal issues that create an unsustainable household. The services include counsel and advice, and limited action regarding third-party mediation. It is important to remember that all services must be directly related to housing stability. Okay, that's my part, and I'm going to now pass it over to Felipe Romero, who will provide a review of our program resources.
Thank you, Lynette. I appreciate the handoff here. Yeah, I'd like to talk about more program resources, right? So there's 4 different categories that I want to discuss with you, which is marketing, the targeted outreach that you're going to conduct in your specific areas, the virtual forums that are going to be led by my colleague, Mr. Richard Castañon, who I believe you all have interacted with, and then also the dashboard, or what we like to call the reports that we're going to be able to provide for you in an effort to give you as much tools for your success as possible to help our Texas homeowners. So on the marketing side, currently the Texas Department of Housing and Community Affairs has a statewide marketing strategy. The way you kind of look at this is you all are going to be the boots on the ground, right? And then we also have an overarching strategy at a 30,000-foot level, if you want to put it that way, to help and promote the program. So some of y'all have already seen some digital ads on social media, some commercials on TV, radio. We've also sent some mailers to all qualified potential applicants of the program. There's some billboards throughout the state that we've put up in strategic areas. And also, we do have partnerships with tax assessors and loan servicers that are getting the message out through their platforms. And obviously, the last one here is these strong partnerships that we have with you as the centers that are going to be across the state to be able to promote this program in a boots on the ground level. There's a marketing and outreach toolkit that's available on the Texas Homeowner Assistance website. You can download this toolkit, and it includes sample social media posts, flyers, and of course the branding guidelines, which includes the logo, what colors to match with your social media posts, and any materials that you create. Any marketing, which I like to add, any marketing material created for localized outreach requires pre-approval from our department or our team. So basically, we just want to make sure that you're following the guidelines. We've already created a lot of materials for you, If there's anything that you need to add, would like to add, or any ideas that you have, please bring them up forth to me. I'll be gladly to assist you. We've done some kind of creative things, even including some videos that you can share through WhatsApp. We know that that's a very common platform that's used nowadays, and with the objective of spreading the message as quickly and efficiently as possible. On the outreach side, I want to mention, the expectations is for us, right, is to let us know what upcoming events. Lynette, myself, and the rest of the team, we're excited about this, and we actually want to be able to visit you and show support and see how we can help you have a successful event. So any events in your area, I know we're getting into the holiday season, and there's different things that are going to be popping up. Please let us know. We will love an opportunity to go out there or to provide any supported resources that you need for a successful outreach event. Please let us know within 10 business days ahead of any events. You can email that information to the website to the email that's listed, txhfsa@tdhca.state.tx.us. We also are going to have a weekly virtual forum. What we want to know is have a pulse on the situation. What are some things that that are troubling for you? What are some concerns that you have? What are some questions that you want to bring up? Or actually, what are some success, right? Share your stories. How is this program affecting your constituents, your stakeholders? And also, what are your events that you're doing, or what specifically creative outreach opportunities are you doing in your area that's being successful? For example, this might be a great event that you just had in El Paso, and maybe our brothers and sisters up north in Northeast Texas, maybe they can copy kind of, why reinvent the wheel? Maybe they could do something similar, or vice versa. So it's a great opportunity to kind of get your feedback, share your questions, and Mr. Richard Castañon will be able to facilitate the conversations and make sure that you have your questions answered. But lastly, data-driven, right? We've really done a data-driven approach to make sure that we get this program to as many qualified Texas homeowners as possible. So we're going to be constantly creating targeted reports that are catered to your specific region that we want you to have access to. As I mentioned, the weekly virtual forum, what does that consist of, right? So our TxHAF staff will meet virtually with Subrecipient regarding the TxHAF program. Yeah, we're going to meet with you, staff, subrecipients. How often? We're like to starting off. This is kind of an ongoing thing. We can change, pivot as needed. But for the first 6 months, we'll likely be doing this bi-weekly. The purpose: communicate program changes, information from Treasury, any questions, discuss any strategies that are working for you, and the lessons learned that what's working, what's not working, and what can we make better. And what are the expectations? We encourage strongly that your team attend the first 8 weeks to discuss the program with us and other fellow subrecipients across the state. As I mentioned, one of the things that we're going to be providing for you are community partner reports, which include taking a deep dive on the county region data that you have available in your specific county and city. The county level data will contain demographics such as race, ethnicity, age, the applications by program type, the applications over time, the language that we're getting the applications in, and any denials, and how to, of course, the denials is important because we want to make sure our Texas homeowners are successful as possible to make sure they get approved if they qualify, and provide immediate support. And we also have an external dashboard that you all will probably glance at our main website, texashomewinerassistance.com. This is good for program overview. Seeing the program-wide the amount of assistance paid out, the households assisted, and any aggregate demographic data. It's also county specific, and then you can also count monetary-wise the amount of assistance by county and zip code. We also have some additional training and resources, followed by important links, key contacts, and other materials that I would like to share with you. Some resources that are available. As a reminder, we are going to have materials such as the recorded training session on our webpage, tdhca.state.tx.us/HAF announcement. And then we also have our weekly, as I mentioned, virtual forum. We have resources available on the main website, texashomeownerassistance.com, such as the Media Toolkit, FAQs, the policy manual. We are going to create the community partner reports for you. You also have access to the Portal Help Center, which I will discuss in the next slide. And then there's also an applicant success checklist that I think is going to be a great tool that you can use for any Texas homeowners that come in or you're doing outreach with, that shows exactly what you need to have a successful application. Important links for you: the HUD Exchange portal, which is part of the housing counseling system, the application portal, which you are going to be accessing on a day-to-day basis, or daily, excuse me. Any organization information. So for example, any additional service centers, there's this surveymonkey.com website where we want you to register where your centers are at. And this is important because on the main Texas Homeowner Assistance website, we're going to add a feature where you're able to locate a center by county and zip code. So this is going to be a great tool. You're a homeowner, or you're having trouble filling out the application, and you want to reach out to your nearest center that's available to you. We're going to have all that information up to date on the website. So it's important that we fill out the SurveyMonkey. If you haven't filled it out yet, please let us know. And again, this is going to be a major tool that we're going to use on the main website to make sure that applicants know where to get more support. We'll also have the application portal help center that's inside the application portal. And also, again, as a reminder, all the materials are going to be available on our Texas HAF webpage, which is available on the TDHCA website. Contacts. You have questions, we got answers. Program administration questions, any general questions in regards to center related, please send that email to Richard Castañon at tdhca.state.tx.us. Any reporting and contract questions, that is going to, please send that information to our director, Ms. Lynette Jondraw. Her email's listed on the slide. And then also, this is important. This is critical. Any media outreach, you have a reporter or you have a news outlet that wants to share the news, or sees this as a success, a great support for Texas homeowners, please let us know. Any interviews have to be approved that are related to the Texas Homeowner Assistance, have to be pre-approved by our media liaison, which is Miss Christina Terloni. She's our media advisor, and you can email her the request directly at christina.terloni@tdhca.state.tx.us. Applicant questions. Another important part. You have an applicant that has a question on whether it's a status update, which is the common theme, or there's something that's portal related that's not working right. You can contact the call center at 833-651-3874, or you can contact our HAF team through our inbox at tx@tdhca.state.tx.us. Also, you see or you want to report suspected fraud, waste, or abuse, you can contact the number 1-833-651-3874, hit option 3, and it will take you directly to the fraud abuse line. All other questions related to the subrecipients, we do have an inbox as well, TXHFSA. Reach out to us, send us an email, and we'll make sure to answer in a prompt manner. Available trainings. Onboarding manual. Onboarding manual will also be posted on our webpage. What it includes: performance management and record keeping, reporting. The reporting part is as you know, to make sure you can draw and get paid and get this money as swiftly as possible. The reporting is a key component on this, which we will provide a training on, and part of training too. Documentation management, right? How to manage the documents that are coming in, what you need to file, what you need to get to us promptly. That's going to be on the onboarding manual. Budget and invoicing, right? Any budget question and invoicing will be on the onboarding manual. Program and service overview, which are the scope of services and KPIs. You all submitted different outreach components, different strategies to reach your stakeholders, right, in your area. Want to make sure that you're on point and you meet your objectives and your goals to make sure this program is successful. Any referrals or resources, all of that is, we took a lot of time in creating this onboarding manual for you. Of course, it's not concrete in terms of, it's meant to be fluid. It's going to be constantly updated, right? Where we want to work together with you as our partners, and we want to see this through, right, for the success of Texas homeowners. So onboarding manual is meant to be fluid. Expect some changes as this program moves along, but for the most part, we took a really good time in terms of making sure that we provide as much information on the front end as possible to make sure you're successful. The application portal training, which I mentioned, the mortgage relief webinar for intake centers and housing counselors, homeowner representative applications. We're going to have this training available for the first 3 Wednesdays in October from 12 to 12:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. The registration link, we'll also post it on our chat box here for y'all to have. The registration link is important so you can do the live training or get the live training and also ask questions in real time. Of course, the training is also recorded, but you're not going to be able to ask questions there. So I think it's strongly encouraged for you all to register and take this training. Again, we'll have it the first 3 Wednesdays in October from 12 to 12:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. And this is with our program partner that's created the portal, Yardi Systems. It's going to be able to kind of walk you through the application process. Lastly, I'd like to hand it over to our colleague, Ms. Lizette Hinojosa, which is our Fraud, Waste, and Abuse Manager, for some words.
Hello, good morning, everyone. My name is Lizette Hinojosa, and I am the Anti-Fraud and Quality Control Project Manager for the HAF program. Today, I'm here to simply just introduce the concept of fraud, and we will follow up on October the 7th with a more specific and detailed training related to fraud. And today's next 2 slides are simply to just talk about fraud, waste, and abuse prevention, and to let everyone know that anyone, regardless of race, color, national origin, religion, or sex, is safe to report allegations of fraud, waste, and abuse to the agency. And also a reminder that falsification of documents or any material falsehoods or omissions in an application to this program, including knowingly seeking duplicate benefits, is subject to federal and criminal penalties. And the last slide that we have for fraud is we did just want to briefly mention the different ways that all of you are able to report fraud, waste, and abuse to the agency. We currently do have the hotline that you are able to call that was mentioned earlier. So that is simply our 1-800 number to the HAF program. It is 1-833-651-3874. If you dial option 3, you will be able to leave a voice recording. And we do ask that that voice recording or that voice message is as detailed as possible. You will also have the option to mail written allegations to our PO box address here in Austin. And then also the last two options are you are able to submit complaints directly to the state auditor's office website, and the link is there. And then the last option again is to report to the Department of Treasury, Office of Inspector General. And that is the last slide that we have in reference to fraud. And like I mentioned earlier, we do encourage everyone to attend the required 3 training, which we will go into more in-depth discussion, and it's specific to fraud only. So we will see everyone on October the 7th. And I will hand it back over to Mr. Romero.
Thank you, Lizette. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
And now we'd like to open it up. I know there's some questions out there, so we'll like to take some time for some Q&A for any questions that you have pending. So if there's any questions, please let us know. You can also ask your question through our GoToWebinar questions feature, as well as send it through our email, or you can make your mic hot, turn your mic on, and ask the question. What is the turnaround time of marketing approval once sent for review? Great question. Thank you, Ms. Elizabeth. The turnaround time for any marketing materials, I usually, I review them as soon as they come in. Happy to discuss that with you. But yes, normally the turnaround time is you send me an email, you want to jump on a quick call or a Teams, happy to jump on, see the thing, how can we support? But yeah, we want to make this as smooth and as quick as possible. We don't want to put more roadblocks, but actually create bridges for you all to be successful. So the timeline, we want to make that as short as possible. Any other questions? As a reminder, I know we mentioned it several times throughout the training webinar. We are going to have a lot of the information posted on the website. So the TexasHomeownerAssistance.com, it has the resources, FAQs. You could download the media toolkit, and you can also see information in terms of the trainings available. At the same time, we're also going to have it on our webpage on the TDHCA state site, where you can also access the materials. The next important training that we have is, I know it's important for you all, right, is the training too in terms of the housing contract system, and to be able to draw your approved amounts and get you started and going as fast as possible. So that's coming up later this week, and we're hoping to answer more questions from that standpoint. Ms. Guerrero, I see that you raised your hand or have a question. Ms. Courtney Guerrero? Gerardo Venegas, I see you have your hand up. Would you like to ask your question? Mr. Venegas?
Oh, thank you. Yes, sir. Thank you for taking me off mute. Yeah, I really just wanted to ask a quick question and ask if we're going to be allowed to collaborate with other professionals in the housing industry, people who might have, first access to people in need, such as developers, agents, financiers, and even are we allowed to work with collection companies or the collection, departments of certain financiers?
I'm sorry, Mr. Venegas, I was having trouble hearing your question. Can you repeat it, please?
Are we allowed to collaborate with other professionals in the housing industry, such as developers, agents, financiers, and those financiers collection departments? Or is this something where we're more doing it on our own and not really collaborating with that industry?
So collaboration is encouraged, right? It is something that we want to make sure that we're following our contracting guidelines. So specifically any collaboration or anything that you're doing, it's something that you need to bring forth to us. We'll kind of go over the contract and see how we can assist it. But again, it's meant to be fluid, and we want to encourage, and I'm sure you have in your communities some key partners that you work with that can help you be successful for the program. So it's important. All we ask is that you just keep us involved and let us know, so we make sure that we encourage and create support for that.
All right, thank you so much.
Yeah, I did want to add on to that. Just because you cannot sub-grant the main portions of your grant, you can subcontract. So you can collaborate, you can get like maybe a hiring organization, that does temp hires. Those are the kind of things that you can do to help your program. So there is a big difference there. So I wanted to make sure that you understood that. So like Felipe said, if you have questions about that, give us a call, let me know, and we can walk you through what's acceptable and what's not, what would be approved.
Thank you so much for your input.
I see on here, Miss Amelia Beasley has a question.
Yes, hi. I was just asking if with the SurveyMonkey survey, if legal services should fill that out or if that's just for the intake centers.
No, definitely, most definitely. Please fill out the survey. We want to make sure we also promote the legal services available throughout the state. Great question.
Thank you. Thanks.
We have Mr. Miss Carol Delgado for the question. Ms. Delgado?
Yes, does mortgages qualify on mobile homes as well?
Great question, Ms. Delgado. Yes, it does qualify. However, there's a difference between, I guess, a mobile home with wheels on it that you can move and a mobile home that's kind of a manufactured home.
Yeah.
So yes, if it's a manufactured home, it does qualify. Miss Claudia Duelas. Looks like you have a question. Miss Duelas? Okay, Mr. Charles Murphy. Looks like you have a question, sir. Mr. Murphy? Mr. Prescott, Mr. Daniel Prescott, you looks like you also have a question.
You can unmute me.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do we have tents or pop-up events that market the program, and do we have any T-shirts or any material that the staff can wear that announce the program, and flags? Because as you go to pop up at other events, we want to have something that markets it, that drives the clients to our site.
Great question, Mr. Prescott. Yes, we do not have those materials available. We're hoping that you did consider that as part of your targeted outreach budget, that we'll be able to create those materials for you.
And last half of my question, what languages are the materials, the marketing materials in?
In English and Spanish, sir.
Yeah, we here in the Dallas market and in the Amarillo market, we have a large Asian and Arabic population. Or will you be able to help us with that?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes, you can reach out to us, to me or Mr. Richard Castellon, and we'll be able to work with our marketing partner and get some materials created for you.
Thank you.
Sir. Looks like Miss Elizabeth Alonso Villarreal has a question. Miss Alonso?
Am I unmuted? Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. My question was on the media. I know that we need to have all that clearance, and I understand that. But as you know, at least here in Laredo, we get called upon by the media like last minute, and we certainly like to tell them about the HAF program and where we'll be or where they can come. So do we need any kind of clearance on that before? Because that's last minute.
Yes, ma'am, you do need clearance. It is important as one of our partners that we also know of any media that's asking questions in terms of the Texas Homeowner Assistance Program. So that is a requirement to let us know before you you take on any interviews.
Well, that's the situation that like I'm going right now to a meeting separate from this. And I know that from, media appears there, and, if they want to ask a question, what do we do? I mean, is it something that then we're not allowed to do, or do we have you all interview instead?
I think, I mean, if there's something where you have you're in a meeting and you're not, the media shows up, happily you need to promote the program. We don't want you to come off and look. We have your organization have no comment. I think that what we're asking is if you get a reporter that's reaching out, right, or you have a news outlet that's reaching out through email or calling you, I think that's the triggers where you need to let us know so we can provide. Maybe there's questions or materials that you would like to be provided or talking points. But it's important for us as a state agency to know about it beforehand. So
okay, well, if it's something like that, we can work with that. I'm just going with, a lot of media folks know us, and so they stop us and say, hey, what's going on? What are y'all doing? And we want to promote this program as much as we can so people can apply for it.
absolutely, I completely agree with you. And I think in that, if you have reporters that are looking for a story, right, they're getting their week going, I think it's important if they come up to you, if like, hey, happy to interview with you, but if you give me some time, we'll get this going as quickly as possible. Again, we're not talking about taking 2 weeks to get an interview going. We want to have a quick turnaround. We just want to make sure that we put our best foot forward on the media side.
All right, thank you.
Yes, ma'am. We have Miss Grace Alzate with a question. I'm trying to unmute you and it doesn't let me, so I think you have to unmute yourself. There we go. Ms. Grace. Ms. Grace Alzate, you're unmuted. Okay, we have a question from Justin Wood.
Good morning, y'all. Greetings from Galveston. My question is, if we have a prospective recipient and their primary residence is in like a duplex or a triplex, and they're receiving some rental income from the other 2 units, will they still qualify for the program? Did you hear me?
I was having trouble picking up I picked up the last part. What was the first part?
If one of our prospective recipients lives in a duplex or a triplex that has a primary residence, and they're receiving rental income from one of the other units, would they still qualify for the program?
This is Michelle. I'm with TDHCA and I run the program side of it. Yes, they can still apply, but they have to provide all of the information. So if they're in, like you said, the duplex and they reside on one side, they can only get assistance on that one side, but they also have to provide, but if it's one mortgage, they have to provide that rental income.
Got it. Understood. Thank you.
No problem.
Thank you, Michelle.
And with I'm sorry, I just want to, and then the other thing is that whenever that does happen, whenever it is a duplex or they're claiming rental income, we do cross check that information with the TRR program that we administer also.
Oh, the rent relief, yeah.
Yes.
We have Mr. Kevin Roberson with a question.
Philip, thank you for this time with you all this morning. It's good to find your face about your name from Richmond and also the 2 questions. Do you have this information available for us to review with our staff later on? Because there's a lot of great information we got in about 40 minutes.
I'm sorry, Mr. Roberson, we were hearing a lot of echo. Can you repeat your question?
Sure, absolutely. My question was, will this presentation be available for me to review my staff later on? So all of the information was packed in about, and I'd like to have a copy of it.
Yes, sir. We were going to make this available. My colleague, Mr. Richard Castañon, is going to follow up with you all with the slide deck and also the recording of the webinar, as well as, remember, we're going to also post these materials on our webpage. But yes.
Okay, thank you.
Lindsay Logan, I believe you have a question.
Yes, I was just wondering about press releases. Does that have to be approved as well if we choose to do an actual press release?
Yes, ma'am. Great question. Absolutely. Yes, if you could send that out to our media advisor. Yes, we would.
And so the follow-up, what would be the turnaround on any approval or not approval? What would be the turnaround time from that media person? Because as the person previously discussed, we do get a lot of last-minute phone calls from media. So is that something y'all would do within an hour or same day?
It's kind of hard to gauge, Lindsay, but I could tell you that if we, as soon as we get it in, we'll try to address it as fast as possible. Again, I'm not trying to create more roadblocks, or not any of us, but we just want to make sure that we're compliant with this federal program. So the answer to that is just send, as soon as you have the information on the media side available, send it to us, and we'll try to get it squared away as soon as possible.
Okay, as long as y'all understood that that's how the media works, is last minute, within an hour type of answer. So I appreciate your feedback.
Thank you. All right. Have time for one more question. I believe Ms. Amy Perales, do you have a question? Ms. Perales? All right, how about Miss Belinda Lacey? Belinda Lacey? Miss Lacey?
Yes. My question was, is it just possible to have just standard media responses for us that we can use without having to get a response for every time that we address the media?
I'll share that your feedback and information with our media team, our TDHCA media team, and see what we can create maybe a quick media FAQ or talking points for you all.
Thank you.
Great question. Miss Brittany Hampton, I believe you have your hand up.
Hello. I'm Brittany Hampton from Community Services of Northeast Texas. Someone had asked earlier about the mobile home, meaning the manufactured home. Here in East Texas, a lot of families, they'll have their land and home in one mortgage. Is that allowed if we pay that mortgage with the land financed with the home?
Great question. I think we still have Miss Michelle Australia on the call. Michelle? Ms. Hampton, I think that there's a technical question on the program side. We'll make sure to get your question addressed today and follow up with a response.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Hampton. With that said, again, thank you all for joining us. And I'll pass it up I'll pass the mic back to Ms. Lynette for some final thoughts. And again, thank you for joining us.
Okay, great. Well, thank you guys for joining us. I really appreciate you taking the time. I'm going to go ahead and send Richard our onboarding manual so that you guys will have that as well as your reference. If you have any questions, please reach out. We're here to help. We want this to be a success, and we know we cannot do it without you. And we want to be here as a partner. We want to work together so that we can do this and help Texans any way we can. So please reach out with any questions you have. We are all here at your service, okay? Thank you so much. Have a great day.